2024 is here and it's the return of the sockeye. I have my special shirt on because it's something to talk about. We are going to have an amazing year for sockeye salmon fishing and we want you to be ready. So we're going to go over, whether beginner or advanced angler, 4 different types of shrimp and how to rig them up for your water session. Get ready. This is going to be good.
3, 2, 1.
Now what's super fun is that sockeye are starting to show up in the rivers, which means you bank anglers get a shot at these first. So we're going to show you guys how to rig up these different shrimp on a plunking rig. And then when these fish get higher up in the river systems and then dumped into the lakes, trolling for them. We're going to show you a couple trolling setups and how to rig those as well. So get yourself ready. Check this out. So let's get started with the sand shrimp, right? Fresh out of the saltwater, these guys are going to be a perfect size bait that you can get yourself ready and plunk with, right? Or troll. So we have in front of us a plunking rig with a double hook setup and a trolling rig. And I'm going to show you guys a couple ways that I like to get these sand shrimp together, because there is a fine way of doing it, right? You get some big ones like this girl here, a lot of eggs, very juicy one to use, as well as you can get some of these smaller ones like you see there. So dependent on your bait size, you can do a couple things with the sand shrimp, and this is what's super cool. A trick that I learned from a guide, Larry Ford, over in Forks. You can take these dead sand shrimp. These have been a couple days old. So I cut them off right there. I now have 2 baits, one tail and one head. You can pinch this claw right off, and that can be utilized as a secondary bait. Totally up to you. The meat and potatoes is this piece right here, sand shrimp tail. If we are going to set this up and fish, there's a knuckle, we like to call it, right here. You can just put that shrimp tail through the knuckle and right out the other side, nice and gently so you don't rip it apart. You now have 2 hooks right there. That fish grabs it, it's getting all hook, all the scents there. That bait is gonna fish and fish awesome. Now what's really cool about this, if you do ahead of time, like let's say some of these shrimp might be getting a little bit on their livelihood date, right? You got that dead one there. I got a couple others, right? You can get them from the store in a container. Maybe not all of them are alive or just died. You can take these shrimp tails, line them up in a freezer bag, or put them onto actually a Dixie towel, paper plate. You line them up just like this. You freeze your shrimp tails. When you're ready to go, and then just grab a batch for the day. Works really, really well keeping your bait, because they are expensive. If you go catch your own, just a great way to make them last longer. Now, how do we go about it for a whole bait? Same thing. Right into that second knuckle, because you can roll the tail under itself. Just like so. Right through the good stuff. And there you go. You can also throw it up higher and utilize the bait loop. It's really up to you. When you're plunking, you're not really casting these far. You can take some magic thread as well and just magic thread them onto the hook. And why don't we show you that right now? Take some of the miracle thread. You can get it at a local tackle shop. This stuff will come in handy for every application you can think of. But let's just say we're going to position our bait right near a hook, top section. You can leverage that bait loop. Be able to secure it on the top end of the hook, right? Now we can take our magic thread, miracle thread, and wrap it down. Doing it behind the camera too is a little hard, but I'm also right-handed, so we'll flip it the other way. And what's awesome about this stuff is you wrap it 3 or 4 times around itself, and all you just do is pull tight. You get the picture there. You can make yourself a little wrapped up shrimp to sit on the hook. So that's another option with the whole sand shrimp. It does work well and fish as well. But that's your sand shrimp. I highly recommend doing the tail method, because then ultimately you get a secondary bait that you can leverage at a later point. And that's what sand shrimp looks like for our plunkers. How about you guys trolling? I think early on in the season, this is a fantastic thing because the fish are fresh. Same thing, right behind that knuckle. Push it down and out. You can even put the secondary hook in there, and you got your fish in your sand shrimp. You can push it down even further and double it up. So see these knuckles? Right like that. Sits perfectly. And you're off and going. Again, early in the year, sand shrimp is a great one to use. Really works well with those fresh fish. Well, how about our coon shrimp, right? Very, very good bait as well, right? These are just some raised coon stripes you can get at any bait store. They're small, which is great because they're a perfect size to do all sorts of fishing with. For plunking, it's as simple as just going through this back meat, making it as little disturbance as possible. And there you go. That fish is perfect just like that. If it was the same setup for trolling, I hook it the same way. So that coon shrimp goes straight on my troll rig. Finger out of the way. All your scent, everything comes straight out of there. Spinner blade, hoochie, all the stuff does its thing. And your coon shrimp is ready to fish. Now what's awesome about a coon shrimp too, that's fishing them whole, right? You can pull that head directly off and have that little luscious tail, and that's all you need too. So there's different ways you can put that on. I've done it before where you actually fully straighten the whole thing out, and you can use your thread and really secure it onto the hook better so you don't get short bited. There's a ton of different ways you can go about doing it. Completely up to you, but whether plunking or trolling, I have found putting your bait on the top hook is going to give you the best success for maintaining the hookup ratios on your fish. Coon shrimp, obviously they're smaller. They do have bigger ones. Then you got options like a prawn. Now a prawn works really good, I would say more so for the plunking guys with a single larger hook, because this allows you to thread the bigger size hook on and you can bait wrap it on your thread. Now for trolling, they are a little softer So if you're going to troll with a prawn, you could probably chunk it up and do little teeny pieces of that, because this bait technically could probably get multiple out of it. But a prawn tail is a great thing. Look, you can cut this up, a couple big pieces there. Then you can use that little last tail piece to go on. But if I'm trolling and I just need a little bit of help, what if I just took that small piece right there? That will get bit. That will create some awesome action and scent trail in the water. Definitely, absolutely worth doing, because that's the toughest part of the meat, is through that shell. Your prawn tail, fantastic way. Again, these can come at the stores, already pre-cured, bunch of them together. And lastly, how about our own homemade prawns, right? The DIY prawn. Very simple. I will do another video here soon on how to cure these up. These are just a 70 to 90 Winco prawn. You can get them, they're raw with the shell off. And I just go through and chunk them up into small little bait sections just like that. And like we've been doing the whole time, it just needs a little bit of bait on there and you're fishing. I particularly would rather do the DIY prawn chunks for our trolling, right? We're taking those sockeye rigs off of our 8 to 9 inch Dodgers. Those work way better doing it that way because they're a smaller presentation bait. I think you get more out of the plunking and more scent dispersion with stuff like a coon shrimp, a prawn tail, or even your sand shrimp, right? It really just becomes down to what you guys are looking to do, right? This is what's so cool about the sockeye fishery. You can do whatever you want on the plunking rigging setups with the spinning glows, hook configurations, colors. Same thing with the trolling. There's a lot of effective ways to do it. But there's going to be so many sockeye that you guys need to get out on the water if you're off the bank, if you're in a boat, at some point this year to take advantage of this, because it's not too often that we have the best eating fish that you can get available in these kinds of numbers. And we're just at the front end of it, and we're going to see a lot of good things happen here over the next few weeks as we get into July, because really everything kicks off about middle of July, and it's going to be a fantastic year. And we're talking using these shrimps to help you enhance your bites and have better luck, just like this right here. If you want to see some more of our sockeye videos, check out the playlist right here, and we'll catch you over there. Fish on!